Hallelujah. You're welcome, everybody. We're going to start in a few minutes. If you have a friend, a neighbor that is not on yet, you can quickly let them know that we're kicking off. We're kicking off. We're kicking off. It's going to be very powerful today. This is the second and I hope the final teaching on glocalization. I hope this is going to be the second and final teaching on glocalization, at least in this season. So if you have a friend, a family member that should be here, that is not here yet, it's good for you to get them to come very quickly. So we are starting in a few minutes' time. Um, get ready. Get your writing material ready. You might need to write quite a bit. Some of the things I'll be sharing, um, they are very practical. They are what I call simply profound, but yet profoundly simple things, but that is likely to have a big impact on your life. So I'm encouraging you to quickly get ready and get all the necessary stuff ready. I tell you, it's going to be very powerful. So we're starting in a few minutes' time. Remind your circle of contacts. Thank you. All right, everybody, let's start. Once again, welcome to my monthly webinar. Today, I'll be talking about glocalization. I want to especially welcome people from all over the world. I can see people are joining from UK, US, Philippines, anywhere you're joining from, you're welcome. I want to also especially welcome all the students of Institute of Itinerant and Pastoral Ministry. That is a school that we have under the umbrella of a ministry to raise people that will pastor and itinerate. That's the purpose of that school. So if you're part of that school, and I know all of them are joining in today, I welcome you very, very specially. If you're watching on Zoom, you're welcome. You're watching on YouTube, you are welcome. I want to start from Acts chapter 1, verse 8. It said, you shall receive power after the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and Judea, Samaria, utmost part of the world. That is what God said. There are three things that are very, very profound here. Number one, you will receive power. So don't go without power. It takes power to get these things done. Amplified define that power as ability, efficiency, and might. So for you to be able to have a localized global exploits and local impact, a localized impact on your world and your nation and your generation and congregations, you need power. That power is ability. You need ability. You need efficiency. That's amplified for it, efficiency. And you need might. So those three are key. So the first thing in the Acts 1:8 is that before you say, I want to go glocalization, you need power. Number two, be witnesses. Be witnesses does not mean you need to be a preacher. It does not mean you need to be a pastor. It means you need to be a witness. Who is a witness? When you go to a court, in the court, somebody will say, I'm a witness. That is to say, I have experienced it, I've seen it. God wants you to be a witness wherever you are. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a tailor, you're a plumber, you're a teacher. Be a witness. That is what we're talking about. So you can be a witness locally, not local, but locally. You can be a witness when you receive power. Then number three, he told them how to go. He said, you start from here in Jerusalem, but don't stop in Jerusalem. You move to Judea. From Judea, you move to Samaria. From Samaria, you move to the utmost parts of the world. And I believe very strongly that is the basis for glocalization. That is to say, you start local, but you go global. So glocalization is doing global exploits, but having local impact. But notice it told them start local. Start from Jerusalem, move to Judea, move to Samaria, utmost part of the earth. So the two mistakes I said last month that people make is that they focus on being a local champion in the global world. The world has become a global village. You can no longer be a local champion. In fact, some things you do, look at a young boy in Nigeria. The mom wants to beat him, and the young boy was telling the mom, "Mommy, calm down, mommy, calm down, sit down like this, calm down." And that the mom recorded it, posted it, it went viral. Before you know what is happening, the governor of Lagos State has sent for the boy. Some people have made him the ambassador. Calm down is everywhere. Even me, I did a post that your worry does not get God to hurry. Calm down. Calm down and gone global now. Can you imagine what happened with a woman and her son in the confines of the room went global like that? So you need to start with local inside, but global in mind. We said all that last month. You might need to go and check that again. So you can start with local inside, but in mind global. So number one mistake I said, people make the focus on being the local champion in the global world. Number two, they focus on the global experience at the expense of local impact. So all they're thinking about is one day I'll go to Australia, I'll go to Austria, go to Switzerland. That is not the thing. You need to not make the mistake, because Proverbs 17:24 talks about people like that. English Revised Version. He said, intelligent people think about what needs to be done here and now, here and now. But fools are always dreaming of faraway places. Don't be a fool. Don't keep on dreaming of faraway places when you're not thinking of what you can do here and now. Why is here and now important? I gave you 5 reasons last month. I'm not going to teach you. I'm just going to run through it. Number one, because your present today is a purchasing power for there and later. Your here and now is a purchasing power for there and later. Number two, God's plans for you to bloom where you are planted first. God's plan is for you to bloom where you are planted. So if you're planted here, bloom here. Number three, the light that will shine the farthest must shine brightest near home. If you think a light, if you have a torchlight, for example, if it's going to shine farthest, it will shine brightest very close to where you are. Number four, life is in phases and men are in sizes. So be in your size of man in your phase of life. If you can't go to Austria, but you can go to Oduwole, start from there. Don't wait until you go to Austria. If you can't go to USA, but you can go to UCH, start from UCH. That is always somewhere close to you that you can start from. Number five, it's good for you to start now, because your local mistakes might embarrass you, but your global mistakes will erase you. Let me say that again. It's better to make all your mistakes locally before you go global, because your local mistakes embarrass you, but you see, your global mistakes will erase you. It's like climbing a ladder. If you fall when you're at the tail end, it's okay, the injury won't be much. But if you fall from the top, it's going to be crazy. So you need to start here and now. I remember I said last month that life is a race. The only problem is nobody's telling us at your market said go. People are already going. If you are not going, they have left you behind. Backsliding no longer means that they left me behind. Backsliding means they moved ahead of me, not that I moved back, but I stayed in one position and they moved ahead of me. So you might not be able to change your destination overnight, Jim Rohn said. He said, but you can change your direction. So what I'm here to do is to encourage you to change your direction, because Jim Rohn said if you change your direction overnight, you eventually change your destination over time. So make a lifetime commitment to growth. Make a lifetime, not just to goals, because you see, the thing is that if you set goals, you might hit the goals, but it does not mean you grow. At the back of your mind, I'll grow from local, I'll grow to global. I'm going to be teaching you simple ways to do that today. You see, so you need to make a decision. Everything starts with your decision. This Monday on Facebook, I'm going to be doing at Global Online Service of the Triumphant Nation everywhere. I'm going to be teaching a series all through August, every Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. team making destiny decisions. It always starts with a decision. Eleanor Roosevelt, the wife of the former president in America, said, your real philosophy is not expressed in what but in decisions you make. So it is the decisions you make that shows your real philosophy. So you need to make up your mind to move forward. It does not matter where you are born. Your background is not the reason why your back should be on the ground. Let me say that again. Your background is not a reason why your back should be on the ground. I love what is written on the tombstone of a man. He said he was born in mud, but he died in marble. I love that. He was born in mud, but he died in marble. So it makes me realize that you can be born in mud, but make up your mind that we die in marble. But some people are born marble to die in mud. Some people are born mud, they remain mud. But the best thing is when you are born in mud and you make up your mind that you will die in marble. And I've said it over and over. The future is not a place we're going to. That's one of the mistakes we make. They make us feel that we're going into the future. The future is not a place we're going into. Not at all. The future is a place we create. So you have to create your future. It's not a place we're going into, it's a place we create. Get ready to create your future. Because if you don't create the future you want, you have to endure the future you get. So set your goals. I remember early in life, I wrote my own goals where money is concerned. One of my goals, I said, number one, I will make my first million. And I'm glad I was able to do that. Then I said, number two, I will give my first million. Then number three, I will give a tithe of 1 million. Did you see the progression of the goals? I said, number one, I'll make my first million. I want to make 1 million at a go. So that is how goals progress. That was my first vision. Make a million. But I didn't end there. Some people, that's where they end. Then I say, I want to give my first million. I've done that several years ago. I want to give my first million. I've given several millions after that. I want at the time, write one check of 1 million. That was the next goal. And I did that. Then I move on to, I want to tithe my first million, which means that I tithe 1 million at a go. So I'm trying, which means I got 100 million. Do you get that? So you need to set goals and keep on increasing. Last month, where we ended, we talked about 5 questions you need to ask yourself to grow into glocalization. Number one, do I like what I'm doing here and now? Do I even like what I'm doing now? Because it's unfortunate, a lot of people don't even like what they're doing. I remember some time ago, I put something on Facebook. I said, I'm on my way to do meetings here. I said, I love my life. Once I put, I love my life, people started sending me private messages. They were saying, you love your life. I don't love my life. How come you love your life? And I discovered a lot of people don't like what they're doing now. So you need to ask yourself, do I like what I'm doing now? Because you see, somebody said, find out what you love and you never need to work another day in your life. And I believe that. I believe if you discover what you love, it never looks like work. In fact, I couldn't believe that I'll be speaking, people will be paying me to speak, and I've been paid in millions. And I'm not joking, just to speak. I mean, out of speaking, I've built a house. Out of speaking, I've bought cars. Out of speaking, I've done a lot of things. I've been invited to travel the world out of just speaking. I found it amusing. Nobody told me speaking can be like that. So find out what you love. What do you love? So what you are doing now, do you love it? You see, First Corinthians 13:8, he said you only succeed at what you love. First Corinthians 13:8, it's only love that never fails, which means you only succeed at what you love. So number one question you need to ask yourself, which was the assignment I gave you last month, is do I love what I am doing now? Do I love what I am doing now? Very important. Number two, what would I like to do here and now? So if I don't like what I'm doing, what would I love to be doing? Because you see, there are two most important days in your life. Number one is the day you are born. Number two, the day you discover purpose. You see, the day you are born, you just merely start to exist. But the day you discover purpose, you start to live. So discover what you would have loved to be doing here and now. You see, if what you're doing, you would love to do is not what you're doing now, be careful in making the changes. I love to say, when you're driving on the highway, and you discover you are on the wrong lane. Your change depends on who you are. If you're riding a bicycle, you just turn. If it's a car, you have to move a little bit and follow traffic to turn. If you're a lorry, you will need a bigger space. If you're a train, you keep on going the wrong direction. You know it's the wrong direction, but you can't turn yet until you get to a place where you can turn. Then, if you're a sheep, I pity you. It's going to take a long time. Number three, assignment I give you. Am I equipped for what I'm doing or want to do? So even if you're doing what you love to do, or you are discover what you love to do, are you equipped for it? Nobody pays for a gift that is not thoroughly improved. You see, the world is full of competition. Whatever you're doing, are you equipped for it? Are you equipped? So I want to be a singer. Do you sing on 10 keys in one song? Jim Sunday was an American football player, very popular. He said, discover your uniqueness, then discipline yourself to develop it. And I believe that. Discover your uniqueness, then discipline yourself to develop your uniqueness. It's very important. Discipline yourself. For example, I have a few uniqueness. Number one uniqueness is that I discovered that for some reason, my message is laugh and learn. Now, that might not be for everybody, but for me, I just discover when I teach people laugh. When I started speaking, people laughing at your message as a Christian minister was a taboo. So even me, then I thought I had a problem. The way you brag in those days is that when I finished that meeting, everybody was in their face crying. Yeah, that's how you brag. That's how you know your meeting was impactful in those days. So when I finished and people are laughing and happy, I felt bad. In fact, one day I prepared a very terrible message. If you are not careful, you will go to hell. You know that kind of a message? And hell is burning with fire and brimstone. But in the middle of the message, people were rolling on the floor. That's when I gave up. Then I discover, just like Jesse to Plantis, that is my uniqueness. So I have developed it. Also, I discover that I speak very fast. When I was younger, they used to abuse me about that. I speak too fast. I should take it easy. But now I discover one of my uniqueness is that when you listen to me 30 minutes, you get a message of 3 hours. It's same thing with my book. Some people, you have to go 10 pages to get 1 point. In my book, 1 page, you will get 10 points. So I'm trying to say you also need to discover your uniqueness, like Jim Sunday said, and develop it. Number 4, do I have the needed network? Because you need to understand that who you are is who you will attract. What kinds of friends are you attracting? That will show you you need to change your network. Somebody say, I don't have interest on a network. You do. You attract who you have. Very, very important. I tell people that the mediocres look for work, the achievers create a network because your net worth is a sum total of your network. So it's very important that you develop, as you're developing your gifting, you develop your network. If you want to be around growing people, become a growing person. If you want to be around influential people, start to develop your influence. Reverend Sam Adeyemi said, Bishop Oyedepo said to him, a lot of people try to develop their church through special guests. He said, but I'd rather have you develop yourself to be the special guest everybody wants to listen to. Bishop Oyedepo said that to him. He said that to me. That blessed me tremendously. Don't build your church around guest speakers alone. That is okay. But grow yourself to be somebody that everybody wants to listen to. So either guest comes or guest does not come, they want to listen to you. In fact, around our own church, we have a peculiar problem. The problem is that there are only few people that will be preaching in my church, that my people are okay. There are several people that come to preach, and people are wondering, what's this man doing there? Let's take the microphone. And that comes out of me deciding to develop myself. And it is very, very important. So you need to seek people that are already going to where you're going, because anybody not going your direction is a distraction. I did a meeting last week with one of the special assistants to Pastor Yadeboye from the UK, Pastor Sholo Ludoye, and I said something there that's gone viral. I said, anybody not going your direction is a distraction. So it's very important. Find people that are already going to where you're going and go with them. And people that are already there, your company will help your content. Your company helps your content. I remember listening to a woman of God that said she does not even try to make friends most of the time with her age mate. She prefer people that are ahead of her, because sometimes your age mates can be envious and backbiting and all that. But she's decided that she needs to keep on learning from people ahead. Finally, I said, are you willing to pay the price? That's a good question you need to ask yourself. Because if you don't pay the price today, you cannot get the prize tomorrow. If you don't pay the price today, you cannot get the prize tomorrow. You need to do that. If you have Kashua, one of the old-time millionaires of those days said, if you put a ceiling to what you will do, you are putting a ceiling to what you can do. So don't put a ceiling to what you will do. keep on paying the price. If you don't pay the price to get what you know, you will pay the price for what you don't know. Let me say that quickly. If you don't pay the price to get what you know, you will pay the price for what you don't know. Every time I go to a mechanic, I'm paying the price for not knowing how to repair my car. Every time I pay my electrician, I'm paying the price for not knowing how to fix electricity. So you need to understand that. So I mentioned two mistakes earlier. Number one, focusing on being a local champion in a global world. That is a word, I think I mentioned that last month. You need to check it out. It's called the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect. It was coined by a meteorologist called Edward Lorenz. Edward Lorenz was able to discover that when butterflies flap their wing in a place as far as Hong Kong or Tokyo, he said they affect the weather in Tennessee. Can you imagine that? They call it the butterfly effect. You need to Google it. And it applies to several other things also. Butterfly effect. You can do something in the corner of your room, boom, it's affecting the world. Somebody did something. I don't know what they did or what happened in Wuhan, China. The whole world is on a lockdown. That is the butterfly effect. Somebody did something, and then all of a sudden the whole world is affected. So you make that mistake. Three questions I want you to ask yourself. Well, maybe I will talk about this later. So one of the things I want you to do is to become a voice. Don't be an echo. Become a voice. Remember, I told you Bill Sanders said you need to discover your uniqueness and develop it. You are a voice. In Luke chapter 3, verse 4, the Good News Bible, Luke chapter 3, verse 4 in the Holy Bible, the Bible says it is written in the book of Prophet Isaiah. So Luke was quoting Isaiah, Good News Bible. He said, someone is shouting in the desert, get the road ready for the Lord, make a straight path for him to travel. Somebody is shouting in the desert. So hear me and hear me well. There must be a shouting. You might be in the desert, but your shout can reach your destination. Somebody shouting in the desert, somebody shouting. So you might not think like you're in the desert now, but your shout can easily reach the world. There are two things you need to understand. You need to amplify that voice. I'm going to speak very briefly now on the topic, how to amplify your voice. How do I amplify my voice? Okay, so Reverend, I'm a voice in the desert. How do I amplify it? Jesus had ways of amplifying his voice. You see, sometimes he will go to the mountainside. Sometimes he will go to the riverside. Sometimes he will go to the wilderness or the desert. And unfortunately, some people thought he went to those places because there was power there. So they started doing church on the mountain or church in the near the water. It's just, I don't know. I mean, you don't need to do that. He didn't do that because there are power in those places. He did that because his voice could be amplified. So somebody asked me, why don't you go to the mountain? Okay, I'm in Toronto, Ontario now. I'm on the 18th floor. There is no mountain higher than that, okay? When I'm flying across the globe, I'm on a mountain. It's not actually, the Bible said the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. The Bible said that. So it's not about you go to a mountain or you don't. I'm sorry if I'm breaking your theology about going to the mountain, but Jesus went to the mountain, he went to the wilderness, went to the riverside for one reason only, to amplify his voice. Try it. Next time you're around the mountain, speak. Oh, you will hear the echo. If you're by the waterside, oh, you hear the echo. If you're in the desert or the wilderness, oh, you hear the echo. I'm trying to let you realize that there was no amplifier, no microphone, and he was speaking to 5,000 men, not minding women and children. Great multitude in those days, between 30 and 50,000 people without a microphone. So he needed the mountain, he needed the desert, he needed the riverside to do that. But look at what he says. I'm a voice shouting in the wilderness. Two things you need to discover. You are a voice. What voice? Develop that voice. Discover and develop your voice. Discover and develop your voice. I'm a voice bringing inspiration to my generation. I know what voice I have. I'm not a voice limited to doing some things. There are people that I teach a lot of things, but what am I a voice about? You need to discover that. I'm going to be mentioning that more later on when I'm going to teach you how to multiply yourself on social media. So what am I a voice about? Discover and develop yourself. I'm a voice shouting in the wilderness. Number two, discover your wilderness. What wilderness am I needed? Not everybody is needed everywhere. Actually, the only people that need doctors are people in the wilderness of health. The only people that celebrate lawyers are people in the wilderness of legal issues. The only people that celebrate teachers are people in the wilderness of ignorance. What wilderness are you in? Discover that wilderness. It's very, that those are the foundation of what I'm about, what I'm teaching. So number one, discover and develop your voice. I'm going to look 34. Number two, discover which wilderness. Because I've discovered that, it made ministry very easy for me. You see, I use slangs. I talk in a manner that appeal to some age range. Yeah, people most of the time 40 and below. Is deliberate. I'm not trying to appeal to people much older. So my dressing, my talking, and my voice to a category of people. And then I know the wilderness I am targeting. It's very, very important. Let me tell you, when you talked about voice, you say I'm a voice speaking in the wilderness. There are 5 distinct things about voice. 5 important things about voice. Number one, voice is distinct. Voice is distinct. I have 3 children and I have my wife. But in my house, when people speak, even if there is no light, even if I can't see faces, I know who is speaking by the distinctness of their voice. Very funny, something I think happened some time ago. My family and I, we were at Lagos Continental Hotel. It's one of the best hotels in Lagos. So we were there. We're traveling out of the country, but we spent the night there. Then we're planning to go for a church meeting, then from there to the airport. And then so they called one of the concierge to come and help us carry our bag. So I was telling my son, Deborah, are you sure you packed everything? Let's go. And the concierge dropped the bag and looked at me and said, wow, it's him, it's him, it's him. And everybody, all my family looked at him and like, what? He said, see, this must be Reverend Albert Oduwole. And I said, oh, sorry, we have met before. He said, never. He said, but I've listened to your messages, MP3 tapes. He said, but this is the voice. So voices are distinct. You can be recognized by your voice. In Canada here, where I am presently, it's very funny that when there are some of the things like people that handle my phone services and co. So when I registered with them, they told me they have what they call a voice service. I said, what is that? They said a voice service is a service that when you call, we don't need to be asking what is your name, what is your date of birth. The machine will recognize your voice. Wow! Voices are distinct. Don't try to copy another voice. And I'm not just talking about talking. In social media, wherever you're doing, voices are distinct. Number 2, voices carry authority. God gave us dominion. One of the things we do with that dominion is authority. You see, he told us that we can have control over the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, and all that. But he didn't give us a gun to do that. He gave us our voice to do that. Number 3, voice creates waves. If you know anything about voice as I'm speaking now, it is waves that is creating. It is that waves that is getting on the air, that is getting to you. So you are in Philippines, you are in Hong Kong, you are in UK, but you're hearing me clearly. It's waves. Your voice must create waves. Number 4, your voice must be heard. That's why I'm talking to you now, how to amplify your voice. Your voice must be heard. You must find a way by which your voice must be heard. And for your voice to be heard, your voice must be amplified. So I'm going to give you 10 major ways you can amplify your voice. So you're saying, Reverend, at this level, how do I amplify my voice? How do I stay local and still have a global impact? How do I stay local and still have a global impact? 10 simple ways. Number 1, through the media, the traditional media. That means the TV, the radio, powerful. I grew up on Canadian books. I grew up on Canadian materials. In fact, there are elderly ministers in Nigeria, my generation and above, that didn't grow up in tangible ministry on Canadian materials. But I was shocked when I started going to America that most people don't know Canadian. Most people, my generation, know Canadian Copeland, not Canadian. And I wonder why. I discovered it was because Canadian was on radio basically, which was good, but Kenneth Copeland was on television. So those things amplify your voice. I call it area attack. You see, when you want to fight, in those days, they fight on the ground. So somebody has arrow, somebody has spear, somebody has a sword, they are fighting. But now they use tray and plate at a time to drop the bombs. Area attack, they call it. But now America can even program a bomb in America to Italy with somebody's address on it. Yes, GPS system, and the bomb will go and trace the person and drop on the person. It's terrible. So the traditional media, TV, radio is one. It's expensive, but it works. Number two, paper media. Paper media means newspapers, magazines, newsletter. Interestingly for me, I started with newsletter. I needed to amplify my voice. I was a young man in the university. I knew God had called me. I knew I'm a voice. I knew my wilderness. How do I reach out to this wilderness? That's what I didn't know. So I started with a newsletter. The Lord told me that time, He said, you're one person, you want many doors. Then you need to amplify yourself and divide into yourself to many places. I said, how do I do that? How do I get myself into many places? And God told me what to do, multiply yourself. I said, how do I multiply myself? He said, through your materials. There must be something somebody can take away from you to give to somebody. The problem with some of you is that you preach somewhere, it's powerful, everybody is screaming. So people leave that meeting, they go to other people and say, that guy is powerful. Say, hey, what did he say? Say a lot of things. Do you have his material? He didn't bring. That is why I don't go anywhere without my materials. Not because of the money. No, I sell them because people don't value what they don't pay for, but so that they can leave myself behind. So I started with newsletters. The color in front, one color at the back. When I could afford it, sometimes it's one color both ways. I saw one of them of late and I laughed myself silly. But you know, the funniest part of it is that those things were what did it for me and amplified my voice and got me to go local. What do I mean by that? So we'll do 1,000 copies. I'll drop some at a book at some library in Ibadan. I'll send some to Gusau University, send some to Ofemero University, send them some to University of Ilorin, and all that and all that. And before I knew it was going viral, I started meeting people that said to me, I read your newsletter, I was so blessed. I read your newsletter. I remember the first time I got to Johannesburg, South Africa, my son there, Pastor Benga Ojo, told me, oh, Pastor Bodakindele said you must preach for him. I said, I know him, I didn't know he knows me. He said he's shocked too. So we went there. At that time, he had the fellowship of about maybe 25 nations represented. In that fellowship, there weren't much, there were about 100 or so, but there were about 25 nations represented. And I asked him, I said, sir, how did you know me? He said, well, when I was head of department in a faculty in UI, one of my students brought your newsletter to me. And since then, I kept on asking for the newsletter. I kept on reading it. I kept on reading it. I kept on reading it. So when I was relocating to South Africa and I was packing things to South Africa, I packed all the newsletters. In fact, here they are. I was shocked. I got an invitation last year to preach in Manchester. Beautiful church, great pastor. And then I asked the pastor, I said, how did you know me? He said, him. He said, he has my tapes and my newsletters from the days he was in Futa as a young student. I'm talking about 22, 23 years ago. He said, he's got all of them. When I went to Manchester, he showed me the tapes, he showed me the newsletters. They are still alive now. Papers don't die. The good thing about papers, books, newsletters, magazine, is that papers don't need visa to travel. There is no nation I've been to that my materials didn't get there before me. They don't need visa to travel. They don't knock doors to enter. They can go anywhere without problem. So if you want to amplify your voice, if you can't afford traditional media, do paper. If you also do tapes, CDs, MP3, audio materials. Audio materials are powerful. I remember as a young man, I was a student in UI. I got some guys called me on the landline. There was no cell phone those days. And they said they want to come and see me in Ibadan from Ilorin. You want to come and see me in Ibadan from Ilorin? They said, yes. I said, okay, come. So they came. And they said they want to invite me to a meeting in Lorry and blah, 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 blah. And I was shocked. In fact, I went to that meeting, I was shocked. I was still a student in U. I'm not sure they knew that time, but they put me in an hotel. They got a room, another room for some people that came with me. They got a room for their own protocol. I said, why? They said, so that if you need water or anything in the middle of the night, just call us. They treated me like a king. I was like, how did you people get to know about me? They listened to my tape that I did in Futa, the minister, the message, and the ministry. In those days, it was tape, cassette tape. And the pastor listened to it, gathered all his team together. They listened to it 3 times overnight. And the pastor said, I don't know this man. Go and look for him anywhere in the world. I've been to places before that if not for my audio materials, I would never be able to enter. I came out of university that same month. That was 24 years ago. That same month, I got invited to preach for Pastor Adeboye. And I was curious. In those days, it was letter, they mailed it. And started finding out who told Pastor Adeboye about me. I discovered his secretary at that time, Pastor Deshola, was in Ilorin. He went to a church in Ilorin to minister. He saw my newsletter on the table. He didn't leave. He kept on reading it. And the pastor said, why are you still staying? So I'm reading the newsletter. The pastor, you can take them with him. He was very excited. He took my newsletters with him. He read it. He went to Pastor Adeboye and said, let's invite this guy. What am I saying? You need to amplify. So you can do audio materials. You see, when you finish a message, like what I'm doing now, if it's not recorded for future occurrence, that is the end of the message. It lives in the few people that have it, but that is the end. Sometimes I noticed something one time. I did a meeting on Instagram. Only about 200 people watch live. When I was done, 2,000 people went back to watch. That is the power of a recorded audio. Okay, so number 4, mentoring. Mentoring amplifies your voice. For example, I mentor people all over the world, literally, and all over. So almost every day in South Africa, in Asia, in North America, you hear somebody say, my mentor, Dr. Oduwole said, Dr. Abba said, Dr. Abba said, Dr. Abba said. So my voice is being amplified through my mentees. I was speaking today, I said, Sam said that instead of growing your church, just with visiting guests, grow yourself to become the person everybody wants to listen to. It was Bishop Oyedepo that had said that to Reverend Sam. Reverend Sam amplified it to me. I amplify it to you. Only God knows how many people you will amplify it to. Mentoring is key to amplify your voice. Of course, number 5 is itinerating. Itinerating is key. Itinerating amplify voices. When you start to itinerate and move from place to place, your voice is itinerated. Number 7, or number 6 now. Number 1, traditional media. Number 2, paper. Number 3, audio. Number 4, mentoring. Number 5, itinerating. Number 6, church planting. Church planting. So we have a church here. We have a church in Abuja. I've not been in Abuja this year at all. I've not been in Port Harcourt this year at all. I've not been in a lot of places this year. But notwithstanding, my voice is amplified there through church planting. Number 7 now, institutions. Institutions amplify voices. I have a school, I have this, I have that, amplify voices. Number 8 now, specialized seminars. Like what we're doing now is an amplification, localization, amplifying my voice. Number 9 is crusades. Crusade, if you're an evangelist, if you are called to do crusade, your voice is amplified. Sorry, I have to rush now because I want to be done in 20 minutes time, and I'm not even gotten to some of the core. But if I don't finish today, I'll just stop here. I'll move to another topic next week, but I hope you're getting blessed. Finally, number 10 that I want to major on is social media. Social media is one of the easiest, best, and cheapest way to amplify your voice. Easter, I found myself in Toronto, Canada. I couldn't go back home. The airports were locked. Wow. What do we do with Easter? I did a program, online Easter service. We had about 9,000 people. Our cathedral in Ibadan, at the extreme, if we put people everywhere, in the Get Inspired Hall, in the gallery, fully, in the ground floor, everywhere, we pack it. we can't do more than 3,000. We cannot do more than 3,000 at the cathedral, no matter how much we pack. But yet, online, one meeting, we had 9,000 people. Then you see people that will be packed the cathedral like that. There are people that are around in Nigeria, most of them in Nevada. But the online Easter service had people from all over the globe. Pastor Christian Kilome did a prayer meeting and had, I think about 2 to 3 billion people. There is no all you can put all that. That's the power of social media. I was saying it earlier on about the young boy that the mom wanted to beat last week. And the boy was saying, Mommy, calm down, sit down like this and calm down. I will not do it again, and all that funny stuff. The mom recorded it, put it on social media. It took a life of its own. Before anybody knew what was happening, it's gone viral. Today, the governor of Lagos State had met him and made him an ambassador. 2 other organizations have made him an ambassador. The word calm down had gone all over the world. Even me, you can go to Instagram or my Facebook page, you see my post on calm down. I said, your worry does not get God to worry. Calm down. So it's very, very interesting that boy, just what happened, crying, the mom wants to beat him, it went viral. That is the power of the social media. The social media is key. So if you listen to me, one of the best ways to glocalize is through the social media. And I'm going to be mentioning a few ways to do that. You can do that through Telegram, you can do that through WhatsApp. Now, some mistakes people make. Some people are using Instagram that should be using WhatsApp. Oh, yes. If your crowd is not on Instagram yet, don't bother. Go to where they are. You will grow from there. One of our own churches is very good with WhatsApp. Oh, the Cathedral Church. Absolutely. The TJ does I think a monthly covenant prayer day that people just pray on WhatsApp. Very effective, very powerful. Some of our churches are very effective on MixLR. Absolutely effective. There are too many avenues for you to be wasting your time on Facebook and only 2 people will watch you. Go to where your primary constituent is and stay there. Instagram is very good. Instagram is very, very good. Facebook, interestingly, is still the largest. I found that very amazing. A lot of people told me they've left Facebook for Instagram. It's okay. So the upwardly mobile people are more on Instagram, but a lot of the generality of the people still on Facebook. So, and all that. 5 ways to increase your followership on social media. Number 1, cause. C-A-U-S-E. Cause means, the brother of David. So what are you doing here? David said, is there no a cause? Is there no a cause means, is there no a reason? Is there no a reason for me doing what I'm doing? The thing is, why are you on social media? I see people put on social media, I just ate pizza. Is that why you're there? See my wife, fine girl. Is that why you're there? I'm not saying you can't post those things, but you need to find your cause. My cause on social media is to be an inspiration, nations, generations, congregation. That has actually been my mission all my life, and that's what I'm doing on social media, to be an inspiration. And I'm teaching love clinic, or I'm doing triumphant hour, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. All I'm trying to do is to become an inspiration to nations, generation, congregation, and relations. That's all I'm doing on social media, basically. And that is why I find it very amazing when people respond to my social media posts and say, I'm inspired. It's inspiring. Oh, so inspired. And I didn't even tell them that is what I'm trying to do. But you see, people can pick it when you know your mission. So what's the cause? What are you doing there? You know what they call people that are with you on social media? They call them followers. So if people are following you, where are you leading them to? You need to define that. Where are you leading them to? I'm leading people on social media to be inspired. So if I have this also a number of followers, I have this number of followers, those followers, where are you going that they're following you to? So cause is number 1. Number 2, content. Your content will determine your company. Your content will determine who follows you and who listens to you. Your content is key. I told you are a voice in the wilderness. Discover the wilderness, then you discover your voice. You discover what your content should be about. I told you one of my peculiarity that Mr. Sunday said, discover your uniqueness and develop it. Is laugh and learn. If you see on my social media platform, I will always put things that make you laugh, but I will give you a lesson to learn with all the laughter. I'm never there joking for joking's sake. Don't be stupid. Don't say, Reverend, put things that are funny. I will put things that are funny too. People love entertainment. I've discovered that. People love entertainment, things to make them laugh. It might be because of the frustration of the nation or the generation. I don't know. So I may put things there that are entertaining, but you will never see me put it there without a lesson. I put, for example, the heights. If you go back to my Facebook page or all my social media, you will see me talking about the height of people, somebody that came to my office and we found out that he's taller, all my staff seems taller than me. That guy came and I discovered that they are all local champion. Then I put the lesson there. There is always a lesson to learn because I'm there to be an inspiration, not to be a comedian. What is the cause? Your cause will determine your content. Your cause will determine your content. So to grow your social media, number one, know the cause, know why you're there. Number two, determine your content. Make your content to be unique. Make it powerful. Make it strong. Make it appealing. Don't put things there that does not have an appeal. Appeal is very key. So number one, your cause will determine your content. So number two, content. Number three, connection. Connect with people. Don't just be there to invite them to buy what you're selling or to attend your meeting. That's what I used to do basically on social media. I put flyers. Few people will like it, but it wasn't like that because there was no connection. The people weren't saying anything but bless them. Now, when I put a picture of my family, for some reason it connects to people. Me and my wife connects to people. A picture of me and a friend connects to people. People want to be connected to you. They want to move from just like us, that like your post, to being connected. I've made some lifelong relationships now through the social media. Somebody that like my post, so I like their post, that get back to me and say, oh, thank you. In fact, I've been wanting to meet you, blah, 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 blah. Create a connection. I noticed, for example, a lady, I'm sure she might watch this from the UK. She was on all my programs, all. I'm doing Love Clinic, I'm doing Travel Nation Toronto. So one day I sent her a message. I noticed you are always on all my meetings and I want to get to know you. Send me your number. She was shocked. She sent me a number. I spoke with her. After we finished speaking, we've been communicating back and forth. Move like us to connections. Very important. Number four, creativity. Be creative. It takes creativity to get the job done. Creativity is key. You need to be creative. Creative with your post. Many a times what I discover is that people don't like your flyers. They are just inviting me to a meeting. So I put something very exciting in front, then attach the flyer to the back. So that by the time they see the first one, they move to the second one, they move to the third one, I still get the message across. Be very creative. Be creative with your teaching, be creative with your titles. You don't go on social media and say, okay, so what I taught, I've been teaching on Love Clinic is 10 irrefutable laws of relationship. That is good for a chapter in a book. That is not good for social media. You don't go to social media and say the topic is 10 irrefutable. There's not even enough space to put it. So last week I did one, I called it intimacy tips, etc. It was just one point out of it. But I noticed it attracted, intimacy tips. I want to listen to that. The same thing is what I taught last Friday. I call it love laws. Love laws. It's the same 10 irrefutable laws of relationship. So you need to be creative, even with the topic. People, number one thing is the first picture they see and the comment they see is what makes it. They are strollers. They are just strolling. So either they stop or they don't stop. It's your creativity that we arrest them. If the creativity is not there, you will lose them. Number 5, consistency. You now need to be consistent. You need to be consistent. I'll tell you my story, for example. So I had 13,000 followers before on Instagram, 13,000. That was by March, by the lockdown. When the lockdown happened, all of a sudden I woke up. I discovered, wow, I'm locked down here in Canada. How do I reach my world? Whoa! Thank God for Reverend B, Joshua, Peter, all my social media team. They've been trying to push me all the while, but I wasn't responding like I should. But now that we're locked down, what do we do? Creativity is the mother of invention. What do? I decide to take serious my social media. Now on Instagram, I have about 25,000 from 13,000 just in March. These things I'm saying to you is what I started doing. I changed my approach. I redefined my course. I increased my content. I got my connection. I work on my creativity, then my consistency. In fact, one day, it was Joshua that called me and said, "How are you?" I said, "Fine." He said, "You have not posted today." I said, Is it devotion? Must I post every day? He said, "Yes, consistency matters." And I discovered consistency matters. I try to post every day now. I try to post every day. I mean, every day I try to make sure something from me is there. It's very important that you need to be consistent. You might not do every day, you might do once a week, but be consistent. You might do once a month, be consistent. When I got consistent with Love Clinic, every Friday night on Instagram and Facebook, between the hours of 8 and 9 every Friday, now I have a consistent followership. I mean, I'm so sure that I'm going to get this guy from Malaysia, that lady from UAE, the other one from Saudi Arabia, there is one from. So if I don't see them, I even try to message them. We didn't see you yesterday. They become my congregation. That's what consistency does. Having done that, I need to close. Now, don't give up because you don't see instant result. This is not instant indomie. Glocalization is a consistent thing. It won't happen just because, well, I don't know, I've been doing it, I'm not seeing results. Let me tell you the story of one of the men that inspires me, Michael Todd. Michael Todd is a pastor of a church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Michael Todd has 1.24 million followers on Instagram, over 250,000 to 300,000 on YouTube, and on Twitter, forget. What happened to him? In 2015, he felt led of God to start to record his messages. So he started recording his messages in 2015, recording his messages in 2015. He was recording the messages. When he put it on YouTube, his mom, members of his church, maximum 20 people will watch it. He kept on putting it there. That same 2015, he did a series, Relationship Goals. He put it there. 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, maximum 45 people. He put it there, 2015. Very interestingly, December 23rd and 24th, 2017, a woman that he had never met put a clip of relationship goals of Michael Todd on Twitter. They have never met. Put a clip in 48 hours. 2 million people had watched that clip, relationship goals. 2 million people. 2017, messages of 2015, 2 years after. Wow. People started looking for the guy. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? And they couldn't even find him on Instagram. They couldn't find him on Twitter. He was on YouTube with the name of his church. He doesn't have a personal one. Oh my God. People started looking for him. All of a sudden, in 48 hours, his church was the only one on YouTube. They had 1,800 followers. It became 100,000 in 48 hours, in 2 days, 100,000 immediately. And from there, kept on going, kept on going, kept on going, kept on going, kept on going. I'm trying to make you realize that consistency is key. Don't give up because you're not getting results. What happened to me that March? So when I discovered that we need to be serious with this thing, I picked a message I preached at Kingsborough for my friend Pastor Tunde Balogun in United Kingdom. We picked about 2 minutes of it. It's been on the internet before, but nobody cares. But we put it, we package it. One of the mistakes we have made, that maybe you are making, is that you put something online without putting your name on it. It's a mistake. It is a mistake. It is a mistake. People get blessed. They don't know you. They don't know how to trace you. People share it, but once they share it, that is all. Nobody cares. Nobody sees it. So this one we put at Albert Oduwole there, and we put it online. Simple message, less than 3 minutes. It went wild. The next thing I knew, people started calling me that, this your message, they send it in our old student group, to our WhatsApp group. Some church pastors are telling me, but somebody sent this to me. Somebody sent that to me. Before I knew what is happening, Tunde put it on, Midre, Tunde not. After that, one of my other ones, Nathaniel Bassi put it on, Febidaosa, boom! It exploded. Messages of 2014. This is 2020. Put your best in everything. I didn't know that the message I put to a congregation at that time of about 100 people far away in Uxbridge, UK, is what is going to go viral and eat the world like a storm. Whatever you're doing, keep on doing it, give it attention, and it is very, very important. So many things to say, no time. Let me take time to answer questions. So if you have questions, send your questions to me now. I want to answer questions very, very quickly. If you have questions, send it. If you're on Zoom, send it. If you're on YouTube, send it. On YouTube, please just show up. Tunde, let me put it on my Telegram. Okay, so I'm waiting. If you have any questions, so remember today we have been able to teach you a few things. I've talked about glocalization, being of glocalization. I've talked about the place of power, being a witness, the place of start with local inside, then how to go globe, to have the globe on your mind. Don't make the mistake of focusing on being a local champion in the global world or focusing on global exploit at the expense of your local impact. I told you 5 reasons why you need to start from here and now. And I went ahead to tell you 5 questions you need to ask yourself. I told you how to set progressive goals. And my goal was, number 1, make my first million. After that, give my first million. And I've given several after that. After that, give a tithe of at least 1 million at once, which means I make 100 million. Then I moved there to 5 questions you need to ask yourself if you want to do localization. Then I talk about the butterfly effect. I talk about how to become a voice, identify your voice, develop your voice, discover your wilderness. Then I told you 10 ways by which you can amplify. I now narrowed down to social media and 5 ways to increase your impact on social media. So let me just quickly, while waiting for your questions, 3 questions you need to also ask yourself. My take home today for you, take home today, 3 questions, take home. Number 1, are you solving a global problem? Think about it. This thing I'm doing locally is a global problem, because that's a problem. A lot of African pastors get to America and get to London, they can't function because what they are used to preaching is bread and butter Christianity. Hey, pray that God give me today my daily bread. In a place like Canada, once you have a job, your daily bread is, what do I mean? You don't even need a job. The government will give you money if you're not working. They will give you food. There are food kitchens you go to, and you take whatever you want. So forget that. Bread and butter Christianity can work. So I'm saying, am I solving a global problem? This thing I'm doing locally will at least solve for me a global problem. Number 2, am I equipped to be on global platform? Am I equipped? The reason why that boy that was shouting, "Mommy, calm down," was because he spoke with clarity, good English for a young boy, good construction for the standard. Am I equipped? So not only am I solving a global problem, am I now equipped for the global platform? The first time I preached in America, people were asking me, first time, so which part of America do you live in? I said, I live in Ibadan, Nigeria. He said, we can't believe it. You're able to connect with you unlike other pastors. Very interesting. One man said to me, out of everybody from Nigeria that comes to preach here, only you and Victor Adeyemi seems to be able to reach the people. He said the rest of them, their illustrations, their examples don't reach the people. And you see, you need to understand that illustration and examples are very different. So I'm trying to say to you, you need to ask yourself, number one, am I solving a global problem? This thing I'm focusing on, does it have a global appeal? Number two, am I equipped for global platform? Number three, what platform will I use for my global entrance? What platform? Is it going to be through books? Going to be through social media? Choose a platform, and that is very important. So let me start with questions. How do you identify your message? Beautiful. You identify your message by number one, what is that thing that saddens you? Nehemiah just add that the wall of Jerusalem is falling down. Excuse me. It's not the only one that had it, but it's the one whose heart is broken. When I see relationships not working, my heart is broken. When I see people losing hope, not inspired, my heart is broken. What breaks your heart? What peers? Pray the prayer. Say, God, let my heart be broken with the things that break your heart. There are things that break your heart. That's how you identify your message. You're a voice in the wilderness. What voice do you want to be? What wilderness do you notice? What wilderness gets you crazy? For me, sometimes when I see relationships not working, it's sad for me because it can work. When I see people not inspired to be their best in God, not living a triumphant life, ooh, it gets me crazy. So what is that thing that gets you crazy? That is how to know. Your anger is a gift from God to locate your calling. Your anger is a gift from God to locate your calling. Yes, yes. I'm waiting for questions. Thanks, thank you for the comment. I'm saying good comment. Thank you. Any other person before I close? Do you have a question? Do me a favor, recommend this to everybody around you. Recommend it to your leadership team. Let them sit together and watch it. Recommend it to all your minister friends or your friends that are in leadership. Recommend it to everybody around you. But beyond that, thank you, Pastor Oji. Thank you, Pastor Temi. Beyond that, make sure that you use these things. These are very, very practical things. Pastor Joel from Porakot, good to have you here. Oh, Izu from Porakot also, thank you so much. These are practical things you can use. Please use them well. Start with them. Become a global voice with Lunka impact. Do that, and I'm sure God is going to bless you. Thank you, everybody. Who else is here? I appreciate you, Pastor Makari, Triumphant Nation, Lekon Debayo from Lagos, Kimbolaniwa, Fred Amachi, thank you. Johnny Riches, my daughter, bless you. Tony Ogbebo, thank you. Biodu Lusoya, Izzy Adeye, for great brother Evergreen, oh, beautiful. Pastor Balaye Balola, Pastor Rex, good to have you here, P. Rex. Beautiful, you're doing a tremendous work. I watch your materials. And you and Balaye are doing a phenomenal work. Let's keep at it. You know, it's going to catch fire. The Adeye Fast, thank you. The Lusoyas, I see you, I see Kolawale, I see everybody. I see Cheto Sons, I see everybody, I see you, everybody. So please, you might need to listen to this more than once, listen to it again. They recommend it to your circle, get your leadership team together, let them watch it. It's going to be a blessing to them. Thank you for coming out today. I appreciate you all. So practicalize this thing. Pastor Gabriel asked me one question once that I will have to deal with another time, because it's going to be, the question is, how do you now turn your online followerships to followerships on ground? I'll teach that very soon. Remind me, next webinar is next week, next month, first Saturday of the month. I will address that. So Pastor Gabe, if I forget, remind me how you convert your online followership to on-site. How do you get them to on-site? Please make sure. I'm going to teach you practically how it is done. And it's very simple, but it's profound. So please, next week, next month, same time, same channels, I'll remind me if I forget to answer that question, to now convert your online to on-site. It's huge. I won't be able to take that right now because of time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lord, for the team behind the scene. that make this happen. I appreciate all you have done. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Have a good day. I celebrate and appreciate you. I pray for you that this month you will experience supernatural upgrade in the name of Jesus. I prophesy and decree all your desires, heaven will meet. God will meet your desire. We stir up your heart to evangelism. Souls will be won this month through you more than ever before. God will give you the boldness, give you the courage, give you the power to be able to do that in the name of Jesus. So will it be in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen and amen. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't forget this Monday, Global Online Triumphant Hour Service. I'm teaching Making Destiny Decisions. If you have time tomorrow afternoon on Triumphant Nation Toronto, we'll be teaching Supernatural Upgrade, which is our theme for the month. And then on Monday, I do a prayer meeting, prophecy, prayer and prophecy. And we're praying for supernatural upgrade in the month of August. Thank you, everybody. Hi, PM students. I hope it's been worth your while and you've been blessed. All right. See you, everybody, later. Bye.